Hello everybody, this is Kathy, and I'm here for part 2 of my surreptitious Society of Steampunk Poochies. In case some of you might not know, surreptitious is kind of a clandestine, secret, hidden Society of Steampunk Poochies. When we last left off, I just about finished the cover piece, decorating the cover. While you were gone, I added a charm. And this little charm, I don't know if you can see it. It's a picture of the owner of Lucky, which was Lucy. And then I added the frame, and I added some bits and pieces around it. And then I added some more waxing to it to give it a little different color. So then what I did while we were off camera is I used a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, very heavy cardstock, and I made a base for the cover and gave it about a 2-inch spine. And what I'm going to do, this is going to be glued right on top of there. It will have a hidden spine eventually, and then this will be the cover for the spine. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this as far as decorating yet. It will be different than this, but I'm not sure yet. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put down this cover. And those of you who have trouble removing your double-sided tape cover, you know, I watched Victoria Designs when they do some tutorials, and she always uses this. And I must say, it does make it much, much, much easier, surprisingly enough. Okay, we'll throw that away. And I want to get this kind of right on here. So let me stand it up. Try to line it up at the bottom. Just like that. And I know there's some talking in the background. I apologize. I don't know if you can hear it. But, you know, whenever I'm recording, that's when it's time for everyone to do their thing, I suppose. Okay. That's going to be like that. And then the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to make the signatures. Set that aside. This is going to be for the inside cover. This and this. You should get to that today. And then I just found this little card. So cute. Images. I didn't find the card. I printed the images. And let me also share with you this. Those of you who missed the first part, the whole theme is around Lucky going to this Society of Steampunk Poochies. And it's all about this the story begins with this little girl who is Lucy. This is going to be in the very front, which I forgot to do. This is going to go under here. I forgot to do that. And okay. And I want to make sure everything closes the way it should. Okay. I'll have to put a clip on there later. But now that that's in place, the journal's going to start. I like to start some of my journals with a story that kind of guides the theme of the journal. So as I said, this is Lucy, and she's lost her dog, Lucky, who's the dog on the cover. And she wonders where they go. Where does the rainbow bridge take them? So I created a little story to go with it. And I'm going to read it quickly. How it all began. Lucky, no, come back. I love you. Don't leave me, please. Lucy pleaded with despair in her voice. I could feel her tears falling on my fur. I could hear my human, but I couldn't move. I wanted to open my eyes and give her a big, wet smooch, but couldn't. I kept hearing her voice as if in some kind of echo chamber. Lucky, Lucky, I love you so much. I love you too, Lucy, I wolfed back at her, but she couldn't hear me. Lucy had been my human for a long time, 91 years to be exact. That is 13 in human years. We had been through so much together. She used to tell me all her secrets, like when she thought she was in love, when she got in trouble, and other things she didn't want to tell her mom and dad. She used to take me exploring with her and hoist me in a basket into her treehouse. We would catch bugs and lizards that she would keep in her special bug box. I always made her smile when she was sad. I promised to always keep her safe. Who is going to take care of Lucy now that I won't be around? Then all of a sudden, I saw a stream of bright lights. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. The colors had a weird force that lifted me and carried me above the ground. I was floating. Whoa! Such a strange feeling. It was like I was entering another universe. I heard strange woofs in the distance. Here comes Lucky! Woof, woof, woof! Welcome to the surreptitious society of Steampunk Poochies. I was suddenly able to move. I felt like a puppy again. My body didn't hurt anymore. There were Poochies of all types and sizes. Some had legs or arms made of metal pieces. Some had odd machine-like eyes. This colorful society was scary, but wonderful at the same time. A boxer named Horatio came over to me and gave me a huge bone. Welcome to our world. You're safe here, and we'll be able to watch over your human at all times. You will never want for anything. This clandestine society of steampunk Poochies is your home now. So that's the story of the surreptitious society of steampunk Poochies. So throughout the journal, we'll learn more about the Poochies who live there. Okay, so that being said, this is going to be here. Eventually, this will be here. And this will be here. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to put together the signatures. There's going to be 3 signatures. And I've gotten the papers ready. Okay, here I'm going to be gathering the papers for my signatures. I have 3 signatures. And I put all kinds of papers in my signatures. I have scrapbook paper. Here I have some tissue paper I purchased from Zazzle. They have beautiful tissue paper. It's not cheap, but I buy it sparingly to put in my journals. And then what I'll do is clear coat the tissue paper to make it stronger. So I only put 1 in each signature. And then I also have some register paper. I have a piece for each signature. I also have some tissue paper that has some pockets folded in the bottom. Not tissue paper, tracing paper. And I have some envelopes. I'll put a couple of those throughout the journal. And then I have strips of cutoffs that I'll put because I like all different sized papers. And I have some music paper. I have some book page, a piece for each. Some composition paper. I think I have about 2 pieces for each signature. Then I have some scrapbook paper, some digis that I purchased, and some coffee dyed lace paper made by Vintage Style Snippets. I purchased those from Nell. Beautiful. She does beautiful work. So I always try to have them on hand. And now I'm going to begin gathering the paper. This is a map. This is going to be the map of where this Steampunk Poochies live. And I put about 15 to 20 pages in each signature. It also depends on how big the spine is. I have a 2-inch spine, so there's plenty of room. And here I'm going to jump to the end so that you don't have to watch me making each of those signatures. Okay, here after the signatures are put together, I need to create a template to guide me where to punch the holes in the signatures and in the spine of the journal. So I'm cutting off a strip of scrap paper, and then I'm going to proceed to find the center and then make the template. And I make sure to put a T at the top so I know which is the top of the template. Always be sure to do that. You know, I've done it and forgotten, and the signatures come out lopsided if you don't put them all in the same direction or put the template in the same direction. Then I'm finding the center and marking a spot for each of the signatures. Now I'm just folding it, the template, to make sure that the center signature and the two signatures on either side of the center are all in equidistance and where they should be. And then I'm also folding it in half, just making sure that everything is in the right place. And I have to, be honest, I have a tendency not to do this. But when I'm doing it with one signature, it's not a problem. But when you're getting to 2 or 3 or more signatures, you really do need to spend the time and make the template so that everything fits in nicely. Okay, my template is complete. Now I'm going to use it to poke the holes in the signatures. I find the center, make sure all the papers are in the right place. And then poke the holes in the signatures. And after I poke the holes in all of the signatures, I move ahead to poke the holes. Make sure all the holes are poked where they need to be poked. And after I do the signatures, then I do the same thing to the spine of the journal. Making sure that the T for the top is at the top. Nothing's worse than having your signatures not match up with the spine. And you really should use clips here. I only had one clip on hand, but you really should clip down both sides to make sure it's even and everything's copacetic. It's where it's supposed to be. And I'm just holding this with my hand. It's easier if you put it in a book, on a book, big thick book. And now I'm going to move into beginning to sew my signature into the spine. And this is a pamphlet stitch. I go down through the middle, up through the top, down through the bottom, and back up through the middle. And I'm going to zip through this, and I'll meet you up at the other side. Okay, next I'm going to put on the spine, and I'm going to do that with double-sided tape. And I get my double-sided tape. It's pretty inexpensive. I get it off of Amazon, especially if you're buying the big roll like this. So it's perfect for a 2-inch spine because this is 1-inch wide tape. So I'm going to finish that, and then I'll come right back. Okay, I finished up securing the spine using the double-sided tape. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on the spine and the back cover yet. I know there's going to be some sort of wraparound. The next thing I want to make sure the width of the pages is appropriate. So I'm going to tear some of the pages. Some I'm going to cut. Music pages seem to be a little long. The envelope is long, but I'm going to come back to that. This children's story, I'm going to just cut it. Then I'm probably going to coat that with Mod Podge because it's a little fragile. Probably should have done it before, but I didn't. So what's new? Next, the envelope. Oh, the map is a little long as well. I was going to cut it, but I decided to tear it as well because I wanted it to look old. Actually, I did cut it, but then I went back and tore it. Now I'm going to go back in and ink and use some stencils on it to make it look a little older. And then the envelope I'm going to cut off. I wasn't sure if I was going to do that, but it needs an opening anyway, so I'm going to make it a side opening. And I'm still able to have the window there. Okay, finish tearing up the paper. Next, I think I'm going to add the front and back pages, or the facings to the cover. Inside cover page, I guess it's called. And I got this great digi. It kind of looks like rusty, steampunky. So I'm going to use that. And I'm going to cut, I think I want a little border around it. So I'm going to cut off just a little bit. Like maybe 1/8 of an inch. And I think I'm going to do that, or I know I'm going to do that on both sides, so I will do that and then come back to you. Okay, so here I am finishing up the back inside cover page. Left that little frame around it. And so far, I'm liking how it's coming out. And figure out what to do with the spine and the back cover. Use some sort of wrapping. And that's all I have time for today. Thank you for watching. Please come back for part 3. That's where we do the fun stuff of decorating. Take care.